Okay, people, man. We have another episode of the BackRoom Pod, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. But we have another special guest. Jerry, you want to tell them what we got here?
Man, we have Lewi in the building. Nah, we got my dog Evan in the building.
What's happening? What's going on, Brody? Yes, sir.
Man, thank you for tapping in, brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, y'all boys. I'm feeling good. You know, my name is Lewi. I go by Lewi. Lewi Supreme, Lewi Decor, Lewi Avant Garde. Those are my businesses. That's my personal. You know, just trying to spread the word, trying to spread the love, you know.
Damn. See, I love that. That's the theme that we've been on, spreading the love. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
So I'm glad that you on the same thing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's interesting. Did you? No. Okay. It's interesting that I feel like I've known this man for a while since like high school. We went to the same high school, Piper, and ever since I've known you, you've always had like this good, positive energy. Every time I see you, it's always been vibes. So,
Yeah.
so is that something that you always consciously try to do, or?
I try to, man, because, you know, we are, as black men, faced with a lot of negatives. So I try to stay positive, try to, you know what I mean, just try to stay as light as possible. I guess that's kind of how I was raised. I kind of trained myself to be that way, essentially. But, yeah, you know, try to be as happy as possible.
I think that's very important, man, and especially, you know, like you said, being a black man, being a black person, that's, you know, there's a lot of things that we, you know, had to go through and shit like that, and there's so many things like stacked up against us, so, you know, it's definitely important to keep that positive mindset, you know, it's at all times, you know, it's not possible, but at most times for sure.
For sure.
And yeah. Well, let's not start so sad though.
No, we good, man. We good.
But what I wanted to start with is kind of if you could just give us a little backstory about you. And I know like one thing I know you have like you're wearing your brand right now, so
Yes,
that shit is fly too. When he came in, I was like, damn, like shit, what the fuck?
Appreciate that.
That shit hard.
So give you a little backstory about myself. My name is Lewi. Once again, I'm a designer. I design clothing and I design homes. I do epoxy flooring and countertops. You can check my business page out at Lewi Decor, LEWIDECOR. And I design clothing as well, which you can see right now. There's a lot more pieces to be made. Obviously, there's a lot that I have done. If you don't know, ask your local rapper. I probably made something for him. But yeah, man, you know, I'm here with my children. I'm here with the guys. You know, it's a great vibe right now. I'm just, you know what I mean?
No, that's fire, bro. Like, let me ask you, like, I think a lot of people, also too, I wanted to mention having his kid here. Like, that shit's a real family, man. This shit is really, like, I wish I was around here. This shit, it feels really chill, you know, nothing forced. So
for sure,
appreciate that, man.
Appreciate that.
So how important is like, I was gonna ask you about your brand, but let's talk about the kids. Like, how important is the kids have been to your journey, and what did that change as a black man having kids?
To be completely honest, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have my children, and I kind of like to shine light on that because I was pretty much like caught up in a lot of things, you know, and just being the fact that I got the news that I was having a child on the way. It sparked something within me, you know what I mean, to get my life together, to get my mind right, to get everything that I need to do right, because I wanted to be a good example. I was left a good example. I still have my father in my life. My father has been in my life, you know what I mean. He's been, you know what I mean, every day. So I want the same for my own, you know what I mean. I want them to be able to see what I do, see how to do it, how to maneuver as a young black man in this world, because I was left with a good blueprint, so I want to leave an even better one, essentially.
Did you find that, like, I don't know, you know, what you were doing before, like you said, you know, you were getting caught up with different things. Do you think that, like, once you had the news, that just, like, you know, created like another like type of hustler in you?
So I wasn't a hustler before my children. I wasn't. Well, I would say I was more of an athlete. You know what I mean? Like, I was dedicated to soccer. I played professional soccer growing up and even in high school. But I will say it created something different internally, like spiritually. You know what I mean? I just felt like a piece of me actually was amongst the earth, and it was my responsibility to take care of that. You know what I mean? So that's essentially like where I have been for the last 7 years. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's crazy. That was deep. I've never thought about like fatherhood like that. You know, like as like I don't know, like as a spiritual thing. You know?
Well, I mean, it may not be to everybody, but I do a lot of research. I do a lot of African research, a lot of African studies. So just to kind of find the connection between royalty and kind of what I would say is see yourself in that light. You know what I mean? And once I kind of started to get a hold of that knowledge, get a hold of that information, I kind of try to apply it to myself. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where it starts from. It came from essentially.
Damn. That's fire. I mean, shoot, bro. I be doing a little research too about like the spirituality. I mean, this wasn't even where we were. I wanted to get a little bit back to fuck it. Let's just go back a little bit. Just because one thing when I asked you about if you wanted to talk about anything specific, you said community, and then you were talking about having your father in your life and you being a dad.
Right.
How important do you feel like having the father is to the community?
It's very, 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 very important. Reason why is because, unfortunately, right, and I don't mean any disrespect, but a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. You know what I mean? Like it's systematic. You know what I mean? For it's designed for the black family to be this way, right? Because they saw what the black family actually is. You know what I mean? If like I said, if you do your research,
it's okay. Go there, bro. I feel like you try to hold off, not trying to.
Nah, it's because I know I do a lot. I read a lot. So, but if you do your research on the black family, bro, you would see that the men and women are equal. There's no hierarchy. There's no the man is the leader. No, they're both working in unison and in balance to whatever it is, whether it is they're leading a kingdom, whether it is they're leading anything. It's all about balance, you know what I mean? So having a father is essential, for sure.
I agree with that too.
I mean, for sure. I mean, I think it's even vice versa as well. You have to have that balance. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because you're only gonna have one parent's perspective. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you with the vice versa thing, B, but I don't know. I feel like right now there's like a effort in society specifically of trying to get the fathers out of the kids' life. You know, the mothers are there, but right now the effort is purposely of people. Like there's a narrative that men are not. I don't need a man for shit. Yeah. Like and they're purposely taking the dads, putting them in prison, so they're not there. So I think let's talk about the men right now.
No. That's not what I was talking about. Like fathers raising like daughters. That's what I meant by vice versa. Okay. Yeah. Not like
Yeah, I mean, even a father can't teach a daughter how to be a woman. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He could only do so much. But what I think in terms of like the actual systematic, you know what I mean, digression of the black family is like even if you think about like Section 8, right? Like these women are on Section 8, but they cannot be in. They're on Section 8 without the help of their father, the father. So they can't be on Section 8 if they're in a relationship or if they have a relationship with. You get what I'm saying? So it's fucked up. So you get what I mean? So
I think not to cut you off, but I think there was like this program. I forgot one of my family members, but it was like you had to put the father of the child on child support for you to receive like this government assistance and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, in some cases, yes. I don't think in all cases, but in some cases, yes. But and that's kind of why it's important to actually like be there as a father in your child's life and do what it is that is needed, so you don't have to be put in these positions. Granted, like some women, you can't control how they actually feel, or like what I mean, like not to say that. I'm not trying to speak bad on any woman or anything, but you never know the situation, so it's important. It's imperative for us as men. You know what I mean? This is our bringing. We brought life. You know what I mean? it is our fault, it is our doing, you know what I'm saying, that they are here. So it is our duty to make sure that we care, we provide, we do all the things necessary while they are here, you know what I'm saying, while you are here, you know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
It's deep, I know.
It's facts though, you know, because like I was saying, you don't have both sides, you know what I'm saying? Like in order for like you to see both sides of perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like a single mother raising a son, like because of her traumas and her like things that she might have gone through in her life, she might kind of inflict those traumas on her son, right? So like she might view men as like, you know, shitty or, you know, and that's gonna create, you know, like a not well son, you know what I'm saying? So like it's just very important that we think about that, you know what I'm saying? Because of, you know, a very, very small action, you know, you're creating a life, you know what I'm saying? So you made that decision, you know, so you need to own up, and I feel like we need to have a lot more fathers in, you know, the child's lives, you know what I'm saying? So I really respect that, bro.
Appreciate that, man.
No, that's real. That's real. It makes me want to ask this question. Like, we three men's right here, right? I don't have any kids. Brennan don't have any kids that I know of. I don't know what that boy be doing.
I don't have any kids.
And then he has 2 kids, right? So I just want to ask, like, B, I want to start with you though. Like, what you think makes a good father? And then I want to hear you from someone that has a kid. So
Take it back.
the bigger one. Yeah, we need to teach them how to be responsible. I guess that's what happens when you're the first child, right?
Yes, sir. Gotta learn.
Gotta learn early. But yeah,
You guys got siblings or no?
yeah. I got like younger kids where, like in my family, almost. I say I don't have no kids, bro. But at this
Your
point,
siblings.
Bro, I had to like almost.
Yeah,
I hate to say
that's
that
where,
shit.
That's
bro.
where it first starts. You know what I mean? If you have siblings, that's where it starts at.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my brother's 15, so that's a
Right.
huge. So yeah,
For sure.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I used to.
You learn
Trust me, bro.
them skills, them parenting
Trust me,
skills
bro.
right there at the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But
But yeah, you know, to answer your question, I think feeling like there's 2 different types of safe, right? So for you know, a fatherly safe, that's going to be protecting. They're going to feel protected around you. They're going to feel not scared. They're going to feel like you're going to, you know what I'm saying? But for the mother, it's going to feel understanding. You know what I'm saying? They're going to want to feel understood. So nurturing and stuff, you know, shit like that. But I just feel like it's just, you know, not saying that fathers got to be rough and stuff like that. I feel like, you know, we need to be a little bit more understanding as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we were once kids, and we just got to take a look at what we've been through, you know, and always just try to improve on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Because us black people, bro, we bring up, you know, down a lot of trauma. So it's just, you just got to think about it, acknowledge it, and just try to, you know, be the better version of yourself in them, you know?
For me, I guess I'll answer it before I let you go. I think it's a lot of what B says, discipline. And I think I wanted to keep the question specifically to be a good father towards boys too. At the same time, teaching them discipline. And then I think also too is to actually talk to them. Yeah. Conversating with them. I think that like
I'll be honest. You have to be present. You have to be firm, and you have to be very much calm and understanding. You know what I mean? Like there are things that I'm still working on myself. So I can't sit here and pretend like I'm like this perfect father, because I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Every day I learn something. Every day is something different. Like they teach me a lot of things that I didn't even know they even understood. You know what I mean? They explain things to me, and my oldest, he expresses things to me that I didn't even know that he understood. So I have to take the time and use the logical thinking plus emotional thinking, because he's still an infant. Well, he's not an infant, but he's still a child. You understand? Like, so you have to blend and then, like I said, it's a balance of a lot of things. So you have to blend two energies together, you know what I mean, but still come off as firm, you know what I mean. They still have to look up to you, you know what I'm saying. It's a lot that you have to play in mind, but it's not all about aggression. It's not all about being in charge, being in control, because we're still human beings. They're children. Your own children are not meant to be your friends. You're not supposed to be friends. Well, that's what I believe. You're not supposed to be friends with your children. You're supposed to leave a good example, and they're supposed to know who you are, right? And when they look at you differently than they look at everybody else. See what I'm saying? So that's essentially what it is and what it takes. I mean, it's once you feel as if you figured it out, I feel like that's when you lose. You know what I mean? Because you never know what they're thinking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think as well, just to kind of touch back on what you were saying about, you know, listening, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, you know, especially in the Caribbean household, you know, it's, you know, whatever I said, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
oh, why?
Right.
Because I said so.
Right.
You know, so I feel like.
Were you Jamaican?
I'm Jamaican.
For sure,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
am I.
Jerry.
For sure. You Haitian?
I'm Haitian.
Yeah, so you already know. We already.
Exactly. So it's just like a lot of things, you know, that you might even not even, you know, as a child be trying to be combative, but just to be curious. Like,
For
you know,
sure.
like,
For sure.
why, like, how come I have to do this,
Right.
you know? And you just need to be able to be calm and explain it to them so that way they can understand and not do it, because a lot of them.
Hey, don't get it fucked up though. Like sometimes that because I said so is necessary.
Yeah.
Like it is necessary. Like they gotta hear that. Like, bro, I said don't do it because I said don't do it,
Right.
and just don't do it because I said so. Right?
Yeah.
Like
You don't got to explain everything,
Yeah,
right? You
'cause
know
I'm
what I'm
in charge.
saying? Right.
I like that. You're right.
Right.
Which made me think, bro, like what you were saying, B, it kind of made me, it made me think about like us as black men, right? Just like Caribbean, you said,
1 second.
that like, that generational trauma stuff, like, you feel me?
Yeah,
Because
that's real.
That's a trauma, like, of them saying, like not being able to speak, having that kind of relationship with your parents.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's like on us, for us to, I'll say all three of us, especially you, like listening to how you interact and talk about your kids, you took it upon yourself to learn that about yourself and took that work for yourself to get past that. Like,
For sure.
talk about that experience.
It's a lot of internal work because I did grow up with a Jamaican father, bro, and he grew up with a Jamaican father as well. So it's like all that trauma, them, whatever you want to call it, those generational teachings. Sometimes, bro, it is good to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do exactly what your parents did. You can become a better version of your parents.
I was just kind of thinking about what you said about making them understand you, because like we were having a conversation, you know, on another episode about Jerry, and then you got to realize too, like you might not even know like fully of what your like father went through. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they could be doing way better.
Yeah.
It still might not be
Yeah,
like
yeah,
know
yeah.
what
No,
you
what you're saying, yeah,
particularly
facts.
wanted.
Facts.
But like
Facts.
you got to realize they probably, you know what I'm saying, like
Facts.
went through way worse. You feel me? So
Yeah.
they're doing the best that they can, bro.
And it's good. It's good that you think like that, right? Because that kind of shows that you have a sense of time, a timeline type of thinking. Because things happen and things lead up to why people are the way they are. You know what I mean? So once you, I 100% agree with that.
I agree with that too. Yeah, that's a good point. Sequential, and what you said too. It makes me think about like, what do we need to start doing for us in terms of like for our growth, you know, as black men, so we could be better as well.
I don't know, man. until you start popping these babies out, I think it won't like your thought process won't be much different. You know what I mean? Until you're responsible for somebody, besides yourself. But I will say though, it doesn't take you to have a child to be responsible or to mold and to be a good person and be a good man. You know what I mean? There are plenty of good men without children. But at the same time, you know, that journey as a man, you know what I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing to have children.
And hey, bro, like, and you just said something to me that actually, like, fuck it, we're gonna go there. You said that to have something you're responsible for. I feel like once you really find spirituality, you really find like the truth God, I want to say. Then you realize that you're not really responsible just for yourself. You're responsible for everyone else too at the same time.
No, indeed.
So
The people around you.
yeah, exactly. It's your responsibility to make sure that people around you grow, and actually that you're actually giving you're giving them the best version of yourself too, as well.
It's human evolution, you know.
Yeah.
Like we've come a long way. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, it's just important. I feel like that's that's what we're created to do. You know what I'm saying? We're created to reproduce. You know what I'm saying? So
For sure.
it's evolution. It's a constant, improvement process, through generations. I think that's I said the last episode, like it's I feel like that's one of the, life's purposes is to constantly self-improve.
Yeah. There's surface work, right? External work, and then there's internal work. And just kind of what I've been reading, you pretty much learn that a lot of what Christ was even speaking about was internal work. You know what I mean? We kind of like take it upon ourselves to reach out externally always. You know what I mean? Or we kind of been programmed to think, you know what I mean, like think this way essentially. So, you know what I mean, we what I recommend is for all black people to do African research, whether it be in terms of African mysteries, whether it be in terms of African spirituality, whether it be in terms of the African family, that diaspora, that construct. It's imperative because once you figure out what was stripped from us, right? Like once you figure out who we actually were, like there was a golden age, and it did consist of the black family at its highest. You know what I mean? The black man and woman at its highest, spiritually, consciously. You know what I mean? Once you do your research, you will see that we are more than the system that we are designed, that we've been placed in. You know what I mean? And it takes some work. It takes some years. It's not an overnight journey. It's not an overnight thing, knowledge to acquire. But
Touching one last thing about what you said, bro.
yeah.
So you said that Jesus' message was internal work.
A lot of it was, and you'd be able to. Where you're gonna find information about Christ went from 12 to 30, right? Well, those years where he is gone, you have to read books, for example, like the Gospel of the Holy 12, right? These are sort of like excerpts that are taken out of the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is the original Bible, like the Ethiopian Bible, the Bible with all the complete stories. There are books and there are information on his life, but what I personally believe about Jesus was that when he did leave, I believe that he went into Egypt and learned the mysteries. He went to the mystery schools in Egypt. I believe that he went to Tibet to learn. I believe that he traveled up and down Africa, traveled up and down the world, and gained knowledge as well as taught it, right? Because at the end of the day, he did have a human experience, right? Like although his makeup was different, he was a human being, so he did have to learn. You know what I mean? He didn't come out all knowing, but I believe that what he was trying to teach is that we can do the same things, right? Like if you listen to his message, he's trying to tell us that we can do this plus more, right? But granted, we've been born into a system that has already that doesn't allow us to think on these terms, right? Like we've been given only the surface to the truth. Like the truth is so much deeper, and when you do your research, you will learn that there are things that you and I are capable of doing. We just have to tap into ourselves, We have to tap in to develop a relationship with God. You know what I mean? That's where it starts. You know what I mean? Like, and when I mean a relationship, I don't mean anything like you have to dedicate time, just like how we dedicate time to work, dedicate time to our crafts. You know what I mean? And I'm preaching to myself just as much as I'm preaching to like anybody. You know what I mean? Like, there are things that I also need to improve. So I'm not speaking like I'm perfect. No, I know that there are things that need to be done within myself and within the community of people that I'm around, and it'll start once we gain knowledge and understanding of who we actually are. You know what I mean? And our community won't change until we actually do our research. You know what I mean? Do your homework on who you are and what you're capable of doing. So that's where I
That's what you have something to say?
Nah, I was just kind of, you know, yeah, but I was just piggybacking what you said about just like there's a lot of things, you know, the real truth, you know, because like you said, the system that we were born into just teaches us surface level things, right?
For sure.
You know, go to school for 5 days a week, graduate, go to school again, get your degree, get a job, have kids, and die.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a
Like,
system.
that's really what it is. Yeah. So
You want to know? Not to cut you off, B. You know,
I'm gonna finish without. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that this whole conversation made me think of two things. Well, first of all, the fact that you're speaking about this is just, I know that's not really popular to speak about God, is to speak about like finding or just a different point of view than what we've been taught all our life. So I know that's not like popular.
Yeah,
So.
you know, like, I don't give a damn if it's popular or not. Like, to be honest, like, I don't know. I guess it started off with my father and how he came about. Like, he's a bookworm. He's a human encyclopedia. So I guess his quest for knowledge inspired me on my quest for knowledge. And I once I've got a little piece of it, I don't want to stop. You know what I mean? Like, there are like topics that I can go down with. There are rabbit holes that I can go down. You know what I mean? And this could be like one hell of a fucking podcast, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want anybody to like,
you know, feel crazy. It's funny that you're saying this, because it's like I be on that same timing, because there's definitely things that I could say or go really deep into, but I'm just gonna keep it like I'm gonna go. Let me just say this though. This made me think of this story that I'd say my spiritual advisor or whatever. So it made me think of this story that he told me. He told me this story, and you guys could tell me what you think about this. But he was saying back in Africa, before the white man, so we were all the Africans were there. We were essentially gods. Like, we couldn't be touched. We couldn't be. There was nothing that the earth didn't. We could basically fly, do anything we want. We were literally gods. And
lowercase G's.
Lowercase G's, not the big, not the lowercase G's, sure. Right? Thank you. And the white man came and he saw this, and there was nothing he could do. His guns wasn't working, right? And he decided the only way to bring down the black gods was to introduce liquor and tobacco into us. And when they did that, that stripped us of our powers. And they've been doing that for so long, and that's how, as black men, we're not supposed to drink liquor. We're not supposed to do tobacco.
That is very true. It's a true story.
I mean, I'll just say
it's a true story, and if you look at like what liquor actually does to you when you do consume it, you know what I mean, you can understand that a large consumption of it, especially like how it was produced at that point, like that moonshine and shit like that was like 100%, or even before, you know what I mean? But yeah, bro. Yeah, the information is vast, and once you recognize it, you see like there's been a lot that is set up for you and I to not become our full selves. You even understand like your pineal gland, for example. Like we consume lots and lots of fluoride. We consume like for example, fluoride is in our tap water. It's in our toothpaste, our tap water. It's in materials. It's in clothing. So like these things
and
that
when you go to the dentist, they ask you, if you want to clean, get an extra fluoride cleaning.
So what fluoride does is actually like it crystallizes your pineal gland, which is essentially like your third eye. Like I know you guys probably know this, but you know, like that's the start of it. Like when we come out of the womb in a hospital, we are injected. Like I watched it twice. You know what I'm saying? We can't even, you know what I mean? Like Lord knows like what these things are. Like yeah, they give you a little background, but it's like there's so much things that are in place for us to not be who we truly are.
Even think about, right? Because you think it's normal.
Right. And it's just like once you kind of get a grip of that, you kind of see like how you need to maneuver. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's no, that definitely, like, I'm not trying to stay on the topic too long too, but that definitely is. There's definitely so much research, and I think like it's funny because I feel like I see more people waking up or speaking about certain things like that, but it's also I see that the disinformation and the misinformation is being pushed just as well sometimes. So with what he's saying, if you want to learn anything too, the research and everything is important. Yeah. I always advise people to just always go within too, you know?
Yeah.
Go within, ask yourself certain questions, you know? Don't just take other people's words. Like, there is something inside of you that God put in there. I'm just going to say, fuck it. Yeah, there's something inside of you God put in there that knows the truth and everything. We just have to take away all the fog and everything to connect with it. That's what
God is internal. He's inside of you. However you want to think about it, he's internal. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? Like if like for all the Christians, if you read the Bible, it tells you that you do not need to go to church to have a relationship nor communicate. You know what I'm saying? The house is your body. You can speak. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother field. That's a whole nother field of knowledge.
I was about to jump on.
Nah, but you said you wanted to talk about something. I mean, to transition off this topic, I don't want to.
No, I just want people to know that I'm more than what I post. You know what I'm saying? Like I post a lot of fashion, I post a lot of things like that, but we can have anybody, you and I can have a real conversation about anything. You know what I mean? Like I can show you what my intelligence level is. I can show you where I am, and I can show you who I am, and I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? But I just want people to know that I am much more than fashion. I'm much more than art. You know what I mean? I am, you know what I mean, a father. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. I want to ask you, I mean, we're getting towards to close it.
No, it's cool.
That man is the start. He's the star of the interview. But,
yeah, for sure.
I wanted to ask you though, like, what is the vision? Like, I know you said that you are more than that. What is the vision for you in terms of like? Well, if you can share, I know motherfuckers be stealing shit too.
I don't mind. Like, once you see somebody else doing it after this podcast is posted, you know where they got it from. But listen, man, there's a lot that I am involved with. You know what I mean? To give you the surface of it, I'm a designer. I'm a manager. I have dreams and aspirations of having my own label. You know what I mean? Things that I could, just businesses, a lot of things that I can just push down to my children. I just want people to know that I don't know. There's so much more to what you see, to the surface. You know what I mean? Like I will be who I aspire to be, and you can too, just as long as you put the work in. You know what I mean? It's